Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday Live where we do a 20-question mock test and answer your questions. And do a hazard perception demonstration. So I'm just getting this message from YouTube. Hopefully, there's not going to be an issue today. Right. So, welcome to everyone. Hopefully, you've had a good weekend so far. Let me get my windows open so I can see if you guys are here. Where's my window gone to? Right, if you've got any questions, please type it in the comment section. With a Q semicolon makes it easier for me to find. There it is. And I can answer it directly to you, personal to you, rather than a generic answer. I don't know why it's doing that. Right, so hopefully there's no technical issues. Right, let's just see if you guys are here. Let me just make sure it's going out live. Yeah, it's going out live. So far so good. So it's popping up all these messages. I'm not understanding why these messages are coming up. Right, let's do this. Yusra 9262. I've not seen your name before, so welcome to you. First time commenting. I wish you the best of luck with that on the 29th, which is next week some point. Yeah, I wish you the best for that. While you're here live, if you've got any questions, feel free to type in the comment section. Please put a Q semicolon. It makes it a lot easier for me to see it. And obviously I can answer it. So if you've got any questions, type it in, let me know. Send you in on the 29th. Nice and confident. I've also been taking driving lessons side by side. Oh, got a lesson at 11:45 Sunday morning. Hopefully the roads are quiet where you are. Hopefully lessons are going well. So you're doing the right thing as far as I'm concerned. Taking the lessons alongside your theory training, because it does reinforce it. So yeah, I wish you luck with the driving lessons later on, and I wish you luck on the 29th. But come back next Sunday, let us know how you got on. It'd be nice to know how your journey went. Marianne, I've not seen your Mbappe's avatar. Not seen you before, so welcome to you. Welcome to you. I've not seen your name before, so welcome. Freddie Moores, I've not seen you before. Again, welcome to you. Got all these different names I've never seen before. So welcome to all you newcomers. Welcome. Again, if you've got any questions, type them in. Let me know if you've taken the theory tests before, or you've got one coming up. Just introduce yourself. There's lots of ats. Is this me or this is YouTube new thing? I passed my theory exam yesterday, 4661. 46. Congratulations on passing, by the way. Thank you for coming to the live and let me know how you got on. 61 has perceptions really high. So congratulations to you. Good morning. Again, good morning. Get you. There's lots of new names on there. Good morning to you. Happy Sunday to you. Good morning. I've got another one on the 29th, so I wish you luck with that. Please come back next week. Is this a YouTube thing where it's got at the beginning of every name now? It wasn't like that last week. If someone knows, type it in the comment section. It's really weird just seeing all these ats. It's actually doing my brain in, to be fair. It's hard to work out the names. Hi, first time here, but I've been following your video. Welcome to you. Hopefully you learned something from being here and coming back and come back. Good morning, Sammy Travels. I've seen your name before. It's just the app froze me. How are you? Hopefully you're well. Again, good morning. Good morning, Jason Quest. Good morning to you. First of all, I don't think I've seen your name before, so welcome to the live stream. Your explanation is top notch. Appreciate that. And after 2 attempts, I passed in the first day. Well done. Congratulations on passing. And I appreciate you coming to the live and letting me know how that went. Yeah, so you've passed that bit. So what are you doing next? Are you looking to take driving lessons, book a driving test? What's your next step? Is that Rachel? Good morning. Be looking forward to appreciate you on the live session. All right, okay. Passed your test. Oh, well done to you. Congratulations. 48. Oh, you missed it by 2 to 50 by 2. And I'm assuming that's 50 on your has perception. Present taking my practice. I've taken driving lessons. Well done. So basically what you can do now, hopefully if you're taking driving lessons with your instructor, look to book a driving test because the waiting time is long. It's going to take you time to find the test date. So that is why one of the reasons why I recommend that you do driving lessons alongside the theory. So once you pass, you literally start looking for a test date and then work towards the test date. Well done to you. All right, let me do an overview first. Good morning to you. First time here, so welcome to you and good morning. David, I'm writing my theory test this coming Thursday at 4 p.m. and I'm stressed because I have revised the questions. What should I do? That doesn't make sense unless I'm missing something here. I'm writing my theory test this coming Thursday. So you've got 3-4 days in hand. It's at 4 p.m. I'm getting there. And I am stressed. That I understand. That's natural. And I have revised the questions. You have revised the questions. What should I do? I don't understand what the question is. If you revise the questions, there's not much more you can do. Just keep studying. Just don't get complacent. Nerves is one thing. Stress is something different. It's natural. Just don't let it control you. That's my advice on that. Unless you missed something here when you said, I have not revised the questions. If you revise the question, I don't understand why you're stressed. It should be calm unless you're failing mock test. That's a different story. Unless you want to give me a bit more information on that. But you shouldn't be stressed. Nerves is a natural thing. Just don't let it control you on that. But let me do a quick overview first and then we can get back into your comments. So keep it coming in. Sorry, I just can't get used to all these ads in front of people's names. I don't know if that's got to be a YouTube thing, surely. I know I changed my computer around, but the settings couldn't have done that. Anyway, let's focus. I've got to do this manually. Right, multiple choice, 50 questions. So for those of you who don't know how the theory test works, it's 50 questions, multiple choice, made up of 14 different categories, just in case you didn't know. Your 50 questions, we will have those 14 categories in there. They're random tests. So if there's 10 of you in the room, it's going to be 10 different tests going on. Same 50 questions. And I say same 50, it is 50 questions, but different 50 questions for the 10 individuals in the room. This is why if you watch my videos, I keep saying, do the categories individually because you don't know how it's going to be made up. Not only that, why I say do it individually, because the questions on the apps, I'm still getting emails and WhatsApp messages. I've taken my theory test. The questions were totally different. The app questions are sampled questions. They're licensed, sampled questions. The DVSA releases out to all the training apps and the trainers like myself. When you go for the real test, the questions will be worded slightly differently, and there's going to be questions that you have never, ever seen before, but you're still looking for the same outcome, which is safety and control. Time to do the 50 questions is 57 minutes, which is more than enough time if you studied for it. If you haven't studied, it may take you slightly longer than that. If you have a learning disability that's that you are known for, you can apply for more time with the DVSA, and they will give you extra time. You can't do it on the day, it has to be done in advance. So if you have a learning disability, you can get more time than 57 minutes. But standard wise, it's 57 minutes to take to do that. I would suggest you take as long as it needs on the day of a test. Some of you are still going in there doing it 15, 20 minutes, failing, and then wondering why. The reason why you're failing, one of the reasons why you're failing is because you're rushing it. When you rush, you skim read, which is what you do not want to do with the questions. They change the questions, add a few words in and out. And sometimes there's subtle words in there. The changes like behind and beyond. Because you're skim reading, the brain does not pick that up the way it should do. So you go for the wrong answer. So I would always suggest you take your time with that. Hazard perception, which I will do a demonstration later on. It's 14 videos, 13 of them have single hazard. One of them's got a double score of 5 on the 13, 10 on your double. You need to get 44 out of 75. And you need to average 3 across the board. You have to pass both parts same day, same time. So you can't pass the questions, fail hazard perception, and then go back on another day to just do the hazard perception. Both parts have to be passed same day, same time with that. What you're looking for in terms of answers is always safety. Safe, 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 safe. With that, if it's got the words safe, safety, safely, safer in the answer, you have to shortlist as a possible. It doesn't always work. When we do the demonstration, I will show you what I'm talking about. So if it's got the words safety, safely, safer, safe in the answer, you have to shortlist it as a possible correct answer. And if it doesn't lead to safety, then it's going to be a controlled outcome, which is normally your motorway questions, and your first aid question sometimes leads to a controlled outcome. And for those of you who are looking for help with your theory, because again, I get in a lot, I've got a study camp. The doors open today, 1 o'clock, I believe. So we're only taking on 20 students. And the reason why I'm taking on 20 students per month is because I'm working with you basically on a one-to-one. So you come in as a group, but I will be talking to you through your 30 days or longer. The day is it's called a 30-day study camp because you should be able to pass your theory test within 30 days. But if you don't take it within 30 days, you still have access to all the training materials. The only thing that you lose is the one-to-one help, because I need to pass it on to the pupils of the following month. But so like I said, you come in as a group, but I will be talking to you guys on the individual level, and I'll be tracking your stats. Because the apps that I'm using, this is Driving Test Success when we do the quiz, but on my other account, Theory Test Pro, you'll be signed up to that, and I can see how you're studying, how long you studied, whether you studied. So you can't lie to me and say, I did study, blah, 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 because I can see the times, the days that you signed in, and I'll be tracking your progress over the 30 days, giving you homework to do to make sure you're on point and everything else. So like I said, those doors open at 1 p.m. today. That takes you straight into the community, which we set up yesterday. So you can go straight into the community, access the courses straight away. I have set up a meetup tomorrow. So if you sign up today, we'll meet up tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Just chat, literally just hang out, chat, discuss your plans and see where you're at. I get to meet you, and you can tell me a bit about yourself. So we're going to meet up tomorrow at 7 o'clock after I've done the study camp session, which finished at 6:30. So yeah, if you're interested in that, like I said, the link is in the description as well with that. So let me come back to see what you guys are saying. Pass my theory test on Friday thanks to the videos you make to help. Okay, thank you for turning up to the live session and let me know that you've passed. Congratulations, by the way. What's your next step? For those of you that's passed, just type in the comment section and let me know what you guys are looking to do next. Driving lessons, book a driving test if you can get one. Patricia, good morning to you. Good morning. I think that's Gloria. Good morning to you. Louisa, good morning. First time here. Good. Well, welcome first of all, and thank you for being here on a Sunday morning. Dominic, good morning. 5th of December. About 2 weeks time, give or take. second attempt, fully confident. Just don't be overconfident. Because I get complacent. Just make sure you keep that study up until the 5th. If you've got any questions while you're here, type it in the comment section. Let me know. Let's send you in there nice and confident. For a test on the 26th of November. That's a couple of days, isn't it? That's Wednesday, I believe. Wish you luck with that on Wednesday. Come back next week. Let us know how you get on. Question. I'm using the 4-in-1. I always get low scores on the hazard perception, but when I go back to review, it's that doesn't make sense. Oh, I'm missing something. Sorry, hold on one sec. I'm using the 4-in-1 app on the hazard perception, but when I go back to review, yeah, the problem is though, yes, I go back to review, the answers are the exact same things I've clicked on. So in other words, you've clicked on what they're telling you to click on. The problem is that you're getting a low score. You're getting a low score because you clicked late. That's the reason why you're getting 2s and 1s if you're getting a low score. You've got to click on the problem and try to get 5s and 4s. I will do a demonstration if you stick around to the end. So if you're clicking on what the video tells you to click on and the scores are low, that's because you're getting 3 or less on those clicks. You need to get 5s and 4s when you're clicking, not just click on the problem. You're trying to get the high score. All right, let me do the mock test because that's why you guys are here. Share screen. Right, so those of you that are new, we read the question first. So we're on question 1. Hold on, can you see my cursor? All right, let me get the bigger one up first so you can see what I'm pointing at. What we do is read the question first and then go to the answers. So question 1, please put question 1 or number 1 in the comments and then your answer. What should you do when you park at night on a road that has a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit? This is A, this is B, this is C, and then this is D. If you think it's A, please put 1A in the comment section. The reason for that is because there's a delay between me and YouTube, you and YouTube. And when I'm showing it on screen, I want to make sure we're on the same question number. And for some reason, my cursor's not coming up. I don't know why. All right, don't really matter. Just type it in. You can see the little arrow anyway. Abrafi TV. Hopefully I'm saying it correct. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Put in the comments. How you doing? Just here to encourage people that I struggle as well, but passed after following your videos. Many thanks. I appreciate you coming on and sharing that. Hopefully that will motivate, even if it's just one person. So well done to you for that. And congratulations on passing, by the way. You didn't say when you passed, but congratulations anyhow. You're new here, so thank you for commenting and let me know you're new. Sherry, oh, super chat. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate Sherry Scott 23. I'll give you your full name. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Every little helps. Planning to write my theory next month. Get it booked in. That will keep you accountable. So what you want to do is jump after the live, obviously. Go onto the DVSA website, type in your postcode, look for your local test center, because sometimes the test centers are fully booked up. So as much as you want to do it next month, there may not be no availability. Then claim a date and then work towards it. If you're not ready when you're working towards it, then all you got to do is just push it back. It's not a problem, but keep an eye on the cancellation date. That's what I would do. Keeps you, if you're planning to do that and you're serious. Good morning. Thank you very much. I followed your videos and followed your advice. I scored 47, 64. That's perception. Well done to you. Congratulations on passing. And again, thank you for breaking your silence and let me know you're here. Right, let me find these ones. Right. God, there's so many of you here this time of the morning. I appreciate you guys turning up on a Sunday morning. 83 of you. Right, so we go. First ones. So I just can't get my head around these ats. And then your name. Luscious Love, welcome to you. How are you? Oh, my mouse is loud. Right, you guys are going for C. Let's see, leave parking lights up. Yeah, the little clue is in the word park at night. So you're parked and it's got parking lights on, which is why. The reason why for that, because you're on a faster road. So because you're on a faster road, you need to leave your parking lights on so people know you're parked so they can plan their lane changes and avoid you nice and early. You stopped at Pelican Crossing. What should you do if a disabled person's crossing slowly in front of you and lights change to green? Learning. I've got my driving test in 2 weeks. So you've already passed the theory test. Well, congratulations on passing the theory, by the way. Again, anxious about any suggestions. Anxious is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing I will suggest you do is, especially leading up to the test, is try to stay calm. I know it's not easy. Try to stay calm. The night before the test, do exactly what you always do. So if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, go to bed at 10 o'clock. What you don't want to do is go to bed earlier. A lot of people say to go to bed earlier to get extra sleep. The problem with that is if your body's used to getting 6 hours sleep, for example, you need to give it 6 hours sleep. If you give it 7 or 8, it's going to wake up even more tired. If you normally have breakfast in the morning, have something to eat in the morning. You may not feel like it, but give the body the fuel that it requires. If you don't eat breakfast, then don't eat something in the morning. You just want it to be as natural as possible because the body chemistry with the nerves and the anxiousness is going to mess you up. So you're trying to be exactly the same as normal. What I would do 2 weeks, in 2 weeks' time, you've been anxious, you're thinking about it too much. Try to turn it into positive thoughts. So when you think about it, try to visualize what you do on your lessons. So for example, turning left, check mirrors, slow down. Don't know if you're doing automatic or gears. Get down to second gear, get the clutch up, go around slowly, 10 to 12 miles an hour, blah, blah, blah. Roundabout, slow down, check to the right, those type of things, because the visualization is massive. So when you feel stressed on the driving test, because you visualize it so many times, it becomes natural and you stay calm in that given situation. Just try to change the anxiousness into positiveness in terms of thinking positive about your driving lessons, and that just transfers to be more calm and more relaxed leading up to your driving test. But good luck with it, by the way. We're on number 2. I think that's the first one. Nerves, stress, anxiety are common for the theory test and your driving test. It actually makes me nervous when my pupil says they're not nervous on the day of a test, because you need it. It keeps adrenaline flowing. It keeps you focused, but just don't let it control you. That's the thing. Don't let it panic you and make stupid mistakes. Right, you guys are going for D. I apologize for the mouse click. I've changed my computer setup. And this mouse is really loud. I should have really used my other one, was quieter. Right, 2D is what you guys gone for. Wait for Tom. Yeah, safety, just wait. You're being tested whether you're a patient, considerate driver. Just wait. You're not in a rush on a driving test either, so just wait. What would you do if you see an older people crossing the road ahead? I would always suggest read the question carefully like I did, and then look at the image, because sometimes there's clues in there. I'm not saying there is a clue in this one, but sometimes there's clues, and then go to your options. I'm going to see if I can catch up with your comments. I don't know if I've done this. 47. First of all, congratulations on passing. 47 and 64. Congratulations. 64. Hazard perception's high. I'm going to do a pass. My test on the 10th. 45, 57. Thank you very much for your explanations and your time. God bless you. Appreciate that. Appreciate you coming to the live and let me know how you got on, because it's nice to know it's paying off for you guys. Jerry Scott passed my theory test last Thursday. 48, missed it by 2. And 60, 63, another high score. Hazard perception. For me, anything over 60 on a hazard perception on the real test is brilliant, because to go in there, hold your nerve, and to get 60 odds is brilliant. I think that's amazing. So well done to you guys getting the 60s. A pass is a pass, don't get me wrong, but hitting 60 plus is massive. Aussie Lifestyle, good morning. It's my first time. Oh, first time, welcome. I feel confident now. Failed my first attempt on the theory. Hopefully we'll do better after learning better from you. You got data. So you failed the first one. So what you want to do is look at the paperwork and look at the categories you failed on. If it's under 40, I would go back to doing the categories. If it's 41, 42, then I would study those categories that showed up on the sheet. But you said you're feeling confident now, so that's even better still. Good morning, first time here. Welcome, first time. I had my third test on the 9th of December. That's a few weeks away. So you've got a few more Sundays to do what you need to do. They fail because they don't listen to you. Doing the 5 worlds, onwards and upwards. What name did you come in under the course? Did you let us know that you passed on the 5-day course, by the way? But thank you for the words, by the way. Not everyone, because they do listen and they go in there, but nerves gets the better of them. I fully understand that and appreciate that. But thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that too. Where are we at? Number 3. Let's find the 3s. There's all different reasons why people fail. If you fail, you just want to take the positives out of it. And like I said, you've got data, you've taken the test, you know how it works. You just have to work on the weaknesses. You guys are split on this one already, 3B, 3C. Right, you guys. Oh, there's nothing. I was about to say you guys are starting to agree, but there's a C coming again as well. So you've got 3 Bs and 3 Cs, but the majority is Bs. So I have to assume the Bs are correct. Good morning. This is my first time here. Welcome to you. Hopefully you learn something and come back. Another silent viewer. Thank you for breaking the silence. On Wednesday, I'm going to 68. I just realized that 68. Well done. 43. You've passed it, so congratulations. But again, if you was my student, getting 43 is just a pass. I would look at the categories that you got the questions wrong and say 7 questions, probably about 5 categories. But what I would look for is rules of the road, if that came up, and road signs, because if those 2 came up on your categories of getting questions wrong, I will restudy those categories. The reason why you're going to need it for your driving lessons. 43, like I said, it's a pass, but it's a low pass. If you came to me for driving lessons and those categories came up, there'll be a weakness in your road signs and road markings, which means we're going to be set at the side of the road discussing the theory when you've already passed it. And I'd rather spend more time driving my students, so that I would do before going on your driving lessons. But anyway, you guys went for free B and there was free C's as well. Let's take a look at B. Be patient, allow them to cross in their own time. Be patient. That's what you've been testing on. That sounds safe. And C, wave. Once you've got wave in the answer, it's going to be wrong. You never wave anyone through. If you did that on your driving test as a fail, you just don't know it until you get back. How can you avoid wasting fuel? Right, I'm going to try to catch up with these comments. How do I register for the 5-day course, please? The boot camp, 5-day boot camp, I'm phasing that out. To be fair, there's links in the video still. People are still signing up for that. But what I would do if you're interested in getting help is do the 30-day study camp, where you got access to all the 5 days over the 30 days. So you can join as many times as you want, as often as you want, any days that you want, and access to other stuff and personal training from me. That's what I would sign up for. But if you want to sign up to the 5-day boot camp, it's still out there, but it will be phased out once I can remove all the links. But go to the website is the answer to your question, by the way. www.drivingtheoryuk.com is the website address, and you can sign up for it there. Yeah, I think I've done that one. Okay. We're on number 4. If you've got questions, keep them coming in. Again, boot camp, just mentioned that, phasing the boot camp out. It's now 30-day study camp, which is better than the boot camp. Boot camp is only 5 days, and that's it. 30 days, you've got access to me personally, keeping an eye on you, holding you accountable for your studying time. And I can see your results and your practice times and advise you on your strengths and weaknesses, and we'll meet up on a regular basis in the community, at least once a week. And like I said, if you sign up today, because the door's open today, we'll have a meet up tomorrow at 7 p.m. And I'll probably do another one Friday as well, or over the weekend, depending what's going on in the community. Regular service, I'm assuming that's an answer. 4B. That's my literally went for D for some reason. D doesn't make sense. 4B, by having your vehicle service. Yeah, by having service regular, it's finely tuned, it's going to burn less fuel. Your vehicle breaks down on a motorway and you manage to stop on the hard shoulder. What should you do if you use your mobile phone to call for help? I've just seen... First of all, congratulations on passing. 47 out of 50, thank you. You are welcome, and thank you for coming to the live and let me know how you got on. Please, the full information about the camp should be posted here. You mentioned the link, but I couldn't grab it. This is a live session, not really to promote the boot camp. The study camp. It's on the website. Let me type this in the comment section. I'll type it in the comment section. Can't spell. Can't spell. Don't multitask when you're live. Right, that should be it. So it's in the comment section. I'm sure it's in the description of this live as well. So if you go onto YouTube, it's in the description of the live. Wow, 5s are coming through already. Okay, you guys have got a fast internet connection. All right, let's do this. Got a B here. Just do it. I'll show it on screen. I typed in this on the screen there. drivingferryuk.com. Same as the channel name. Diamond Star. Welcome, first of all, to the live. I passed my ferry test. Thank you for your videos. Really helped me. Congratulations on passing. Thank you for coming to the live and let me know how you got on. Another pass as well, AP7. I'm not seen your name before, so welcome to you. Thank you all because of you. You did the work. I just give the information. You done the work. So congratulations on passing. 5D. Check your location from Veneris markup. Yeah, you got to give them your location. So do that. Why should you reduce your speed when you're driving or riding in fog? Why should you? So we can get the comments up. I'm not sure. Okay. Oh, I almost missed this. Did my ferry test on Wednesday and scored 50 out of 50. Congratulations, the magical 50. That's very hard to do. And 65 as well. Well done. Yeah, that's amazing. Well done and congratulations. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for dedication. .48, missed it by 2:56. And again, thank you for coming to the live, and thank you for letting me know that you've passed. Congratulations. It's nice to know you guys are actually going out there and passing. Quite full of first. Thank you for breaking the silence. Last Monday, congratulations on passing. Rare creativity. Appreciate that. Look at all these passes. Well done to you guys. 64. Once again. Thank you for the introduction and sharing the channel. Appreciate that. And again, thank you for being here. Let me know. Oh, Luscious Love did say good morning. I missed that. Another pass as well. 46 out of 50 has a 68. Wow. Congratulations on getting that first time. I tried registering for the 30-day camp, but I cannot make the time 4:36. Is there any catch-up time, please? It's all recorded. The sessions are all recorded and it goes up. Normally the next morning it gets processed via Zoom and it's in there. So anytime within the 30 days, any times that you're free, you can just join any day. You don't have to register like on the boot camp. On the boot camp, you have to register. With this, you can join any sessions through the 30 days. And if you can't join, then watch the live session. That's what it's for. Just watch the recordings, because not everybody, even if you can join live, sometimes by watching the replay, you pick up stuff that you missed the first time because you're watching it in your own time. And you can break it down in 15-minute chunks, or you can watch it 2 times speed, 3 times speed, whatever speed you want. So it's not just about the live sessions in there. It's about you getting personal help from me. It's not always about the sessions. I'm keeping a track of your progress personally. So that's what that's about. That's why it's over 30 days. So I've got time to work with you and bring your scores up. But it's nice if you can attend the live sessions. And we're going to hang out on other days where we just chill. At different days over the weekend. Like I said, it may be another after the live next Sunday, about 1 o'clock. We'll just hang out in the community and just chill. So it's a little bit more than just turn up at the live sessions. It's more personal. Sorry, what number are we on? Number 6. So don't see the study camp as literally just studying. It's literally working on also working with you on an individual basis, getting to know you, what's getting you ticking. Because people don't always fail. I think someone put in there because they didn't listen to me. They don't always fail because you don't listen. Sometimes things don't click. When I work with my students, I work on mentality because that's massive. The brain is a big thing. The brain doesn't tick right, you ain't passing, regardless of what you do. So we get the brain working right. There's certain things that you'll say, I'll pick up on, and then I can use that to help you improve. That's the reason why the study camp is done what it is. The boot camp is over 5 days. I don't really get to know you through Zoom, but on this, I get to know you on an individual basis. Hence why I'm only taking 20 students a month. Got a D on that. Good morning to you. Right, most of you have gone for B. Why should you reduce your speed when driving a frog? Yeah, it's more difficult. Someone went for D though. The brakes do not work. Has got a typo. Surely you can't put D for an answer. Ooh, you're waiting at T junction. What should you do if your vehicle is coming from the right with its left indicator flashing? So I'm just trying to catch up with these comments because I know there's a few that I should have responded to. I'm not sure if I showed this, but a diamond star, passed my theory test. Thank you for your videos, really helped me. Congratulations on passing. And again, I can't thank you guys enough for coming to the live and sharing that you've passed. Selena, good morning to you. How's the driving going? Super gamer. Passed my test. I don't usually watch the live, but I watch all your videos, 46 out of 50. You passed it. These live sessions are more for you guys asking questions. I can answer it personal to you. The videos, when I do a video, it's more a generic answer for everybody. But sometimes you guys have personal issues, personal concerns, and that's what the live is about. You're welcome, by the way. Angie, good morning to you. I've just started preparing. I've downloaded the app, but I'm so confused on where to start. Someone recommend this channel, please. Where to start on the channel? Go to the playlist, study with me. There's 2 playlists. Study with me. I think it's about 2 years old, but the answers are still relevant. They're not outdated. So Study with Me series, where it gives you, I think it's a 20 question start on each category. And then there's a Study Makes You Better, which gives you a 30 question start. And then watch other bits and videos. That's what I would start with the playlist. In terms of the app, start with the categories, break the categories down. So if you use the app in conjunction with those playlists I just mentioned, it should give you a great start. And then if you turn up to the lives on a Sunday, you can ask any questions that pop up that concern you. And then I can answer it for you. That's what the lives are for. And by you being here, you've started already. Sam, you've put 7-1. Do you mean 7A? Oh, there you go. You did mean A. Let's you all agree on the A on this. A, wait until the vehicle. Yeah, the reason why you want to wait, someone's gone for a B, just literally popped up. The reason why you want to wait until the vehicle starts to turn, because indicators suggest they're turning or parking up. If they signal too early that they're parking up and you pull out, they can crash into you. So it's always going to be A on that one. Someone says B, move out slowly. You're never going to move out slowly in front of a car that's coming down the road. It's not safe. Remember, safety is what you're looking for. You're performing cardiopulmonary resuscitation, I can't say that word properly, CPR on a casualty. When should you stop CPR? Right, let's get some of these ones up. Is that Jack Bellamy? I had to break in the silence. Appreciate that. I passed my theory test 46 on questions, 55 as perception. You're welcome, Jack, if you're still here. Congratulations on passing. Again, I can't appreciate you guys coming to the live and actually breaking the silence is one thing, because that's not easy. And secondly, let me know that you've passed, because like I said, it's motivation to other people. It's also motivation for me to keep going. I know it's working with that as well. Heidi, my test. I had my test last Tuesday. I got 36 out of 50, multiple choice of 55 perception. It was sad and I cried. Rebook for December the 16th. Right, that's fine. How you want to cope with that is fine. What you want to do now is get back on the horse. First of all, 36, not what you want, it's not what you want to hear, but you have to be realistic. 36 out of 50 on a real test is low. That shows a lack of understanding. But you have data. I would imagine if you've got 36 questions wrong, you're looking at 7 to 8 categories. And if you're looking at 7 to 8 categories, that's over half the categories. Maybe it's 14 categories. You've got at least 7 to 8 categories wrong. So that's over half. That's why it's a lack of understanding. You need to go back to basics. And what I mean by that is do the categories individually and take mock tests in each individual category to make sure you are getting the majority of them correct. That is just a lack of understanding. That 36 out of 50. Not say you can't do it between now and the 16th of December, because I don't know how much time you're putting in, but that's my advice. I can't stress enough, that is lack of understanding on that. You need to understand why the answers are what they are. Otherwise, you're going to get the same result. Number 8. But I wish you luck on the 16th. Did you say it was the 16th? Yeah, I wish you luck on the 16th of that. But also, if you don't feel ready for it, push it back. Don't take it because it's booked. Study, but if you think, I'm not confident with it, push it back. And also, you're here on the live. Any questions while you're studying during the week, write them down, bring it to the live. Let's sort you out and get you passed. Right, the majority of you, good morning to you. I've gone for B. B was B. Yeah, definitely. Why should you switch off rear fog lights when the fog has cleared? Why did you change instructors? Have you got test books? I think you had the test books. Why? Obviously you got reasons for changing. It's a shame because when changing instructors, sometimes their style, or maybe change it for the better because you said it's for the good. So obviously you're feeling better with this instructor. Aussie lifestyle, I'm confused. Please, how do I join the 30 days? Please, is it the same with the link you dropped? No, the link is my website. The information is on the website. And at the moment, those links lead to the sales page or waiting list. The doors open at 1 o'clock. So if you go back to that link I dropped in there at 1 o'clock, those links will take you to the sign up page where you can sign up and pay for the course. But it's only 1 o'clock those doors will open, not beforehand. Any tips for hazard perception part? I'm not so confident in. Test is on 29th. Stick around and I'll show you how to do it. 2-click method. If you stick around to the end, I'll show you how to do that. Um, 999. How often do you go live, please? Is there any particular day? Yes, I go live. If you're talking about this, as in YouTube, live every Sunday at 10 a.m. In the study camp, I will be live in the study camp in the community at least once a week. I'm trying to do twice a week, but time permitting. But you do literally every Sunday at 10 a.m. If you can't make it live, it's always on YouTube. I don't take it down, so you can watch the replay. Hello. Right, the majority have gone for A. To prevent dazzling. And just in case you didn't know, dazzling is blinding. In fairy test, it means blinding. And fog lights are bright enough to dazzle or blind people in the daylight. That's why you turn them off when fog is lifted. What's the safest thing to do if you have to leave valuables in the car? Patricia. I hope I'm saying that correct. Sorry, I noticed it before. I just can't get used to these ats in front of people's names. I am dyslexia. Right, I am to make payment for 30 days camp showing pay and schedule my. God, it's written so badly, it's struggling to read it. So it's just when my brain's working, it's just written. Right, basically what you're saying is if I pay for the 30 days boot camp and schedule my theory test, if you sign up for the 30-day camp, I wouldn't pay for your theory test at this point in time. If you're going to sign up for the 30-day study camp, because we're going to have a conversation and I can work out when you should book your theory test. It doesn't make sense if you're going to sign up to the boot camp to book a theory test, because that's the whole point of the theory test. If you've got a test date booked already, that's fine. We can work out a schedule for you to meet that deadline if it's not too far away and it's realistic, or push it back. If you haven't booked a theory test, that's what we work on in the 30-day camp. And it's normally in the first 7 days, we'll work at a schedule, because you will take a full mock test, which is the 50 questions, obviously, and the has perception. And that will show me your strengths and weaknesses. I'll go through it with a fine-tooth comb and I can see where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are. And that will give me an indication of how much work we need to put in for when you can take your theory test. So if you are going to pay for it and you get in, there's only 20 students, don't worry about booking the theory test just yet. We'll work together on that. If that's what you meant. If that's not what you meant, could you just reword it differently? Because like I said, my brain is really struggling to decipher that the way it's worded. And this is another reason why I said if you've got to learn, I've got dyslexia, just in case you guys didn't know. And my brain struggles to pick out certain words, especially if it's written not in the proper grammatical way. So I have to read questions 2, 3, sometimes in 4K. In that case, I had to read it a lot and then summarize it. So like I said, if you've got that type of issue with the theory, you need to read the questions 2 or 3 times, breaking it down. Even when I do the videos, you see me read the question 2 or 3 times, and I do this every single week as well. So if I'm supposed to understand it and I got to read it 2 or 3 times, imagine what you guys are going through. 10D, lock them out. So yeah, put in a boot or glove box. Don't leave them on the back seat. What can you do to help prevent tiredness on a long journey? There you go. Selena's recommending a boot camp. And what Selena did was the 5-day boot camp, where like I said, we're going to have 30 days, and you're getting a lot more personal help than Selena got. I think I did actually sign you up to the Ferry Test Pro, because I think we've done some personal stuff. Because you were struggling, hopefully you don't mind me saying this, you were struggling a little bit. So yeah, I signed up to the Ferry Test Pro and worked on your strengths and weaknesses on that as well. You guys are fast internet. 11Bs are coming through already. 11s are coming through already. And it's saying that Selena's passed the Ferry Test. She's taking driving lessons and she's still coming to the live sessions every so often. So again, just using Selena as a prime example, so I'm just trying to find out where I am. Like I said, don't multitask when you're doing live streams. There we go. Sammy Travels is the last one. Yeah, using Selena as an example where, again, hopefully you don't mind me sharing this information. She was struggling, I think it was Bay Park, and she sent me an email and I sent her some diagrams for the Bay Park. So it's not a case of, like I said, it's building up the personal connection in the study camp. It's not just get you past, it's getting you to get that license. That's what it's about. So if you guys have problems with your driving lessons as well, I'm in the 30-day study camp to help you with that. So it's all about getting that license, not just getting the theory test certificate. The theory test certificate is just a way of getting your driving test booked. But the aim is to get that license. Sorry, 11B. Yeah, take regular refreshment breaks. Just in case you didn't know, another question is, again, we covered this in the study camp. If they ask you how long should you break for, it's 15 minutes for every 2 hours. How should you react to inexperienced drivers? I passed the test after watching your video. I didn't miss your class. I'm a silent learner. Thank you so much. God bless you. First of all, thank you for coming to the live and letting me know how you got on, breaking the silence as well, and congratulations on passing. Okay. Put it in your calendar. Hopefully you've subscribed, put the notification bell, so you should get a notification on that. Put it in your calendar, Sunday, 10 o'clock. Can't miss it, or put a reminder, a weekly reminder. But as I said, it's recorded, so you can watch the recordings. It's better to be live, obviously, ask questions. But put it in your calendar so you don't miss it. C is common. Yeah, again, the key word there is patient. You're driving in busy traffic. You want to pull up just after a junction on the left. When should you signal? I've given up already with this very test. I have had 42 in two tests continuously. First of all, you couldn't have given up because you're here live. So there's something in you that wants to do it. One of the reasons, without knowing you, and again, I'm going on generalization, again, from my experience, the reason why you got 42 continuously in 2 tests, because you're not learning from mistakes. That's why the score stays roughly the same. It's about learning from the mistakes you'll keep making. So if you got 42, you got 8 questions wrong. You need to understand, well, you won't know what the question's wrong. You won't know what questions you got wrong from that. But you have got data. But in my general experience of doing this, when someone's getting average scores of 41, 42 on the real test, is because you're not learning from previous experiences and understanding why you got questions wrong. So you're sort of picking the same answers all the time, hence why the score's consistent. You need to understand why you got the 8 questions wrong. When you guys are studying, you need to understand why you got a question wrong. What most of you are doing is you get a question wrong, you go to the app says, yes, it's wrong, this is the answer. You look at the answer and think, right, I'll remember that for next time. That's the wrong way of studying. What you want to do is when you get a question wrong, go to your answer that you picked and try to work out why you chose that answer in the first place. And then try to understand why the answer is wrong, because the brain will now eliminate that when a similar question comes up. You need to give the brain info first. And then once you've done that, then you go looking at the right answer and then understand why the answer is correct. And then the brain's going to remember that. So it knows now to eliminate the answer you picked previously. And now it knows what answer to pick and why it's picking the answer. And then once you do that, when they reword the question, any shape or form on the real test, that knowledge is there because the brain's got it sorted either way. And that's why your scores go up. And that's why I keep saying, understand the questions and understand the answers. The brain is a powerful tool. You need to give it the right info so it can give you the right information back. If you give it the wrong information, it's going to give you 42 out of 50 every time. There's an A in there. And that's the reason why the 30-day study camp was made. So I'm going to start working on individually, working with individuals individually so I can work on your mindset. Can someone explain question 13 to me? I'm not understanding it. Let me explain it to you because we're on it now. Let me just qualify the answers right. There's mainly C's, but there's a couple of B's in there. All right, let me put this one back up. So let me read the question. Right, you're driving in busy traffic. That means other people are around. Okay, when you signal for other road users, you signal for other cars and pedestrians. A lot of people, drivers don't realize that. You want to pull up on the left just after a junction. You would want to pull up just after a junction on the left. When should you signal? And as you're passing or just after a junction, and the reason why you're doing that is because if you signal before the junction, that left signal says to everyone you're turning left. The reason why you signal after you pass the junction, that says you're parking up on the left. That's similar. I don't know if you was here earlier on when the earlier question came up about the T junction. Signals mean 2 things. One, you're either turning or you're parking. And that's why you go past the junction first. There's no misunderstanding that you're parking up. If you signal before the junction, it suggests you're turning. And that's the reason why it's C. So how did that make sense? What's the national speed limit for cars and motorcycles on the dual carriageway? When the doors open, once the doors open at 1 o'clock, like I said, go to the website. The link is in the description and it's in the comment section. Once you go there, it takes you through to the sign up page and you do what it needs to do, just like you're buying something online. And as I said, once you sign in, you got direct access to the community. There you go. Yeah, don't give up. You haven't given up. You said you have, but you're here. So obviously there's something saying to keep going. I would never give up, because one, if you give up, you can't pass anyway. So that's failure. We all have hiccups. If you didn't pass it, it's a hiccup. It's not failing. It's a hiccup. When you give up, it's a fail, because you cannot pass it under any circumstances. And again, in my experience, what you don't want to do, because at some point you're going to want your license, and whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years from now, because I got students who's took driving lessons when they were 17, gave up, blah, blah, blah. 34, 35, they now come back to driving because they need it for their jobs, or they're looking to move out of London and they need a car because they're going to move to a remote area. The test is a lot harder. If you've done it 17 years ago, the test was easier. The driving test is only going to get slightly harder. It's actually changing on Monday, by the way. I've got the information from the DVSA where you guys are going to spend more time driving on faster roads, and that comes into play Monday on the 24th. So the driving test is only going to get harder and harder over the years. So you're better off now getting it done and dusted now. Whether you buy a car or not, it's irrelevant. You can sit on your license, 2 years is ticking, no harm at all. But never give up. If you give up, you're never going to achieve your dreams. But as I said, in your head, you think you're giving up, but you're here. If you're giving up, you wouldn't give up your Sunday morning. Oh, sorry, I was struggling with that one. I just realised what the question was. You want to be careful with that answer. 70 miles an hour. Oh, the question is dual carriageway. 70 miles an hour on the motorway as well. The dual carriageway is a motorway, but it is a dual carriageway question, so that's fine. All right. Congratulations, gent, on passing, by the way. Yeah, I'm going to do a demonstration after this mock test. Sorry, what's the national spelling for cars? Cars, 70 miles an hour. I'm going to do a demonstration at the end, so on the hazard perception. What action should you take when you see flashing amber lights under a school warning sign? I have booked my theory test for the 8th of December already. I want to pay for the 30-day study camp. What do you advise? 8th of December, Monday week is the first. I see you're testing on Monday. Today's 24th. 2 weeks. If you want to pay for it, feel free to do that. And then I can take a look to see if you're ready to take the test on the 8th. And if you are, we'll leave it in place and we just put some work in there to bring you up to speed. If I don't think you're ready for the 8th, then we need to push it back in that. So the choice is yours. I can't tell you what to do with that. If you did fail the theory test, you still come back to the study camp anyway, because you've got access to it until you pass the theory test. One thing I don't think I've mentioned. When you sign up for the study camp, I say 30 days because you should be ready within 30 days with the work you put in, providing you do the work I told you to do. But if you fail it, you can come back. You still have access to all the recordings, the sessions. It doesn't change. The only thing that changes is that the one-to-one dies down, because obviously the next set of students gets my time. I'm not going to ignore you. I'm still going to help you. You still come to the live hangout sessions. Because like I said, we're going to meet up as a community, just have a chat, chill, different days of the week, where we could just be lighthearted about it rather than being stressing about it. So you still have access to all of it until you pass. The only thing you don't get after 30 days is the detailed one-to-one training. I'm just going to rein that back in. So that choice is yours. in that situation, whether you want to pay for it the 8th, but it gives you 2 weeks to get up to speed or push it back. I think I've done that one. Explain 13. And we're on 15. I'm not sure what that's about. Right, I'm assuming A's got to be correct. You can't wait. That's not what it means. You can't wait. That's wrong. The first part of that information, when you can't wait, you can wait as long as it's not on the school era sign. It's reduce your speed. Got nothing to do about waiting. The lights are amber, they're not red. These lights are amber. They're amber at the top, amber at the bottom. They got alternately, and all it's telling you is to reduce your speed until you're clear of the area. It's not, you can wait in a school area, just not on a school keep clear sign. But it's telling you to reduce your speed. So it comes on when school starts normally, and when school's finishing to let you know school kids are around. You've just passed your driving test. How can you reduce your risk of being involved in a collision? My screens are jumping all over the place. Right, 16. B. Take further training. If they ask you on the real test, I'm talking about what type of training we're talking about. Is your pass plus, is the extra training. How can you reduce the environmental harm caused by motor vehicles? Remember, if you guys got any questions before we sign out, type in a comment section. Q semicolon, just type it in, let me answer, especially if you've got a test coming up this week or over the next 10 days, 14 days, type it in and let me answer it. Or driving lesson question. Test is on Wednesday. Again, this is for you. If you've got a question, concerns, type it in. Before we sign out, let me answer it. And send you in a nice and comfortable. I wish you luck on Wednesday, by the way. Let us know how you get on by coming back next week. There's a B. So there's a B, then. Okay, there's D's and B's. So you guys are split on this, D's and B's. B's the majority. B's and D's. What was the other one? D. It's B. The reason it says keep engine revs low. What they're trying, again, this is with the theory test as well, which I've noticed over the last few months. They don't give you the full information in the question or the answer. When they say keep engine revs low, they mean drive at the right speed for the gear you're in. So in other words, you're not doing 30 miles an hour in second gear. So it's the right engine speed for the right gear. Here for D is only used for short journeys. You don't want to be driving to the local shop when you can walk or cycle. That saves the environment. If you're driving down the road 200 yards, then you're burning fuel unnecessarily. So that's why it's B. You're driving towards this left-hand bend. What danger should you anticipate? Again, always look at the image. There's a clue in there. But again, I stress, if you guys got any questions before we sign out, put it in the comment section. Q semicolon makes it easiest to find it. No problem. That's what I've not, like I said, over the last 2-3 months, and I've taken a bit research into the question of why people are failing. They ask you questions, but they don't give you the full information behind the question. So, and that's why I say people fail, because of lack of understanding. And especially if you're not taking driving lessons, because you're not going to know about right gear, right speed. When we finish this, I'll show you what I'm talking about on the it's actually on the test sheet as well. Eco safe driving, because you can get marked down if you're not in the right gear for the right speed, right situation. Guys, gone for C. The key word here is anticipate. I'll tell you why. If a vehicle's overtaken you, you don't need to anticipate it. You should see that in your mirrors. Mud on the road. These answers are totally different. Mud on the road you can see. And the road getting narrower, again, you'll see that. But the key word is anticipate. So if you look at the image, there's no pavement. And that's why pedestrians walking towards you is the answer. And the other reason for that is, if you didn't know, it's actually a fairy test question. Where would the pedestrian be walking? On the driver's left or driver's right? It's always on the driver's left and coming towards the driver. That's why you have to anticipate, because you don't expect someone to walk towards you on your side of the road. So that's the reason why. Why should you look carefully for motorcyclists and cyclists at junctions? First of all, thank you for being here. Congratulations on passing. And let me just read this out, because this is someone who's taken their test and they're saying the same thing. Hi D, I passed my driving test last Thursday. Thanks to you. And the secret is to read and understand the question. As you always say, again, thanks a lot. I can't stress enough. I'm seeing more people fail week in, week out via the emails and WhatsApp messages because they're not reading the questions carefully enough. I see in the boot camp when we do the quiz at the end of the whole training, I've given them the answers in the training. They just don't know that. And then the question comes up and they pick the wrong answer, or they pick a wrong answer and then they reread the question again. You can see them changing the answer before I reveal the answer. And that's in the live training sessions. You guys need to take the time out to read the questions carefully and read the answers carefully on the day of the test. You're not in a rush. 57 minutes is more than enough time to do it. I repeat, on the videos that I filmed, you see me read the question 2 or 3 times. I don't cut that out because it's easy to cut it out and make it look like I'm just reading, boom, boom, and answer. Any mistakes I make is left in there to show you I make mistakes just like you guys make mistakes. So if I'm making it and I teach it, imagine what mistakes you guys are making. Take your time. Denise, I ain't seen you in ages. How are you? Answer is B from the looks of it. Good morning to you. B. They're harder to see, so let's get this down. Cyclists are harder to see. And when I'm teaching someone to drive, that's what I tell them to do. When you come to junctions, don't look out for cars and lorries and stuff that you're going to see and hear. Look out for your cyclists because they take longer to come into view. Where may you overtake on a one-way street? This one's bigger. I passed. Congratulations on passing, and thank you for coming to the live and letting us know how you got on. 40 out of 50, well done to you. Just missed the magical 50 by 2. Has perception 55. There you go. The truth, like you always said, understood the question. Can't stress enough. I understand it. I know some of you are in a rush to get the pass certificate, to take your book of driving tests and everything, but think about it. You're rushing it, you're failing it, which is taking you even longer. You might as well just put the effort in now, get the studying correct, because you're not wasting time. Let's just say, for example, you could take the test in 1 week, or you can take your time and take it in 2 weeks. You take it in 1, you fail it, you got to go again. Or you take your time, do it in 2 weeks, pass it, and that knowledge is now more solid. So you use that knowledge for your driving lesson, which means you're saving money on your driving lessons, because your driving instructor is not going to pull you up at the side of the road to discuss theory stuff that you should have known when you took the theory test in the first place. So you're saving time and money in the long run by putting the effort in now. And it takes, I think I mentioned it last week, 3.9 attempts to take pass the theory test. 3.9. Don't be one of those stats. What, 20 already? I got a C there and I got a D here. First 2 out. Got another B. So you guys are, D's common, but you guys are still split B's and D's. I got to assume D's correct because that's the majority. Right, let me, again, this is one of the questions that don't give you the full information there. It says, where may you overtake on a one-way street? Most people see as 1-2 lanes going up, coming down. So when you overtake, you normally pass on the right. That's why the ones who went for B is only on the right-hand side. What they don't tell you, and I teach this in the camp, motorways, dual carriageways, one-way roads, one-way streets see as 3 lanes. They always talk about these roads I repeat, motorways, dual carriageways, one-way road as 3 lanes. And if you always picture it as 3 lanes, when that question comes up, it gives you the right answer. So that's why D is what it is, because if it's 3 lanes, it's one way. You can pass left lane, middle lane, right lane. It doesn't matter. And that's the reason why it's this. But if you see it as 2 lanes, you'll always go for a B answer. So that's what I'm noticing with the theory test. They don't give you the full information. They just say one-way street and expect you to know it's 3 lanes. Again, let me break this down quickly. Just get this out of the way so I can see. As I keep saying, the theory test is made up of 14 different categories. We've got 8 categories here. This is a 20-question mock test. So you've got rules of the road 3, vulnerable road use a 6 or 20-question mock test. So 6 here. Safety in your vehicle 3, motorway rules 1, vehicle handling 2, road and traffic signs 2, incident accidents emergency 1, hazard awareness 2. So using vulnerable road users as my weakness, so that was my weakest category, and I got 6 wrong. I'm already down to 44. I can't really afford to make too many more mistakes. And that's the reason why I say understand the category, because you don't know how it's going to be made up. In this case, 6 questions from one category for a 20-question mock test is kind of harsh. So that's the reason why you study the categories individually, because you don't know how your test is going to be made up. So hopefully that makes sense. Right, let me just catch up with these comments before I do a hazard perception demonstration. Denise. I booked my test with a instructor. The day of my test was when he came back from holiday. So I booked another instructor. I'm seeing your other can walk. There's nothing you can do. That's just a lack of communication. He's got no right. Who booked it? That would be the question I'm asking. If he booked it, that's the reason why he can cancel it. If you booked it and he cancelled it without your permission, that's bang out of order. But there's not much you can do about that. But if he booked it, I'm not saying he's got the right to do it, but he booked it. That's why he can go into the system and change it. But if you booked it, he shouldn't be able to do that. Data protection. But there is not much you can do. Hopefully you can get another one soon enough to take it. How much is a practical test? The theory tests, because that's what we're studying, is £23. If you're talking about the driving test, it is 62 or 62.50 for that. Just make sure there's no more comments. I booked it and ring DVSA invested. They know who did it. They should do, because I booked it and ring DVSA and they said they know who did it. So that suggests that he booked it in the first place. And if he's booked it in the first place, technically he's got the right to cancel it because he's booked it. But he shouldn't have cancelled it without you knowing. That's a conversation that should have been had. But again, it's still not much you can do. But if you booked it and he cancelled it, he had no right to do that. But again, there's not much you can do about it. Unless the DVLA advised you differently, but the DVLA is a different body altogether. But it's... Oh, sorry, I just realised, sorry, I read it wrong. I booked it. Right, so you booked it, he cancelled it. That's out of order. The only thing I can advise you with that is take it up with the DVLA, which it sounds like you've already discussed it with them. If they know who did it, it's what action they're going to take against the instructor, because we are licensed by the DVSA. Whether the DVLA report him to the DVSA is a different story, but that's something you'll have to take up with the DVLA, which, like I said, it sounds like you're doing. But he shouldn't be allowed to go in there and change it because it's your test. You booked it, data protection. So something's gone wrong somewhere along the line with that. But yeah, I'll keep on top of that though, to be fair. First of all, thank you for coming to the live and let me know. I've not seen your name before, so welcome to you. 16th October is a while ago. 45 out of 50, 52, 75. Congratulations on passing. But again, I appreciate you coming to the live after all this time as well to let me know that you've passed. All right. Yeah, the waiting time. When was the test for? Roughly. All right, let me just do a quick... get my iPad out and show you the driving test report sheet. So, iPad. So it's not coming up. Hold on 1 second. Live video source. My iPad is not showing up. Let's try to change this. There it is. Right, so this is the driving test report sheet. On your driving test, you'll get a copy of this. Pass or fail, you get a copy of it. So as I said to you guys before about taking your time to pass the theory test, because you're going to use that knowledge on your driving lessons and your driving tests. So box 17 is your traffic signs. What did we get? Road and traffic signs there. On that mock test that we just did, there was 2. Road markings, traffic lights, traffic controllers, other road users. Those are the categories. And we got vulnerable road users. There were 6 questions on the vulnerable road users. So on other road users, that's where you're using that information. There was a question about driving in low gears, keep your revs low. As I said to you, it's eco-safe driving. If you look across to the right, I'll put a mark in the box, eco-safe driving. That's where that would come into play as well. So you're driving at the right speed for the right gear for the right situation. So those, and we spoke about signaling. If you remember, car signals to turn left, or sorry, you want to park up on left. When should you signal? Look at box 15. Box signals necessary. Parking up on the left would be correctly, and timed, not too early, not too late. So that's the theory test based on the 20 question we just had there. That's the information in the boxes which would be ticked. And then we're speaking about hazard perception, which if you didn't know, your hazard perception is your mirror checks. So every time you're driving in real life, you see a problem, you click your mirrors or check your mirrors. And that's what you do in hazard perception. You see a problem, that click represents you checking the mirrors. And box 14 is before you signal, change the direction and change the speed. So there's your hazard perception in box 14. The only difference is on the videos, you don't do it before you're signaling. You do it before you change direction and you change the speed. So hopefully you can see how the theory test links in with your driving lessons, stroke your driving test with that. So let me just come out of this and see what you guys are saying. So hopefully that's starting to make a bit more sense with the theory side of it. That's why I keep saying, take your time to understand it and pass it first time. I was reading. I was reading the highway code. Ignore that. For your theory, I don't know about that with the 1 millimeter because that's bald. But I will tell you for the theory test because that's what you're more concerned with. On the theory test, they will ask you about car tires, caravan, trailer, motorbike tires. It doesn't make a difference what tire they're talking about. The answer will always be 1.6. It's legal requirement to be 1.6. I have to ask you on the real test, not on the apps, how much points for a ball tire or for a tire under 1.6 is 3 points per tire. That's why you need to know it. So I repeat, the tread depth on the tires they speak about on the theory training is always going to be 1.6. Don't let the vehicle throw you off. Wow, October 21st, that you'd have been done and dusted. You're now looking at least next year for a driving test if you can get one. There's not much I can say because I don't know what the situation is. Was he a what we call an independent driving instructor where he worked on his own, or did he work with a driving school? If you work for the driving school, I would approach the driving school. But again, to be fair, there's not much they can do. It's your word against his. Is he going to admit that he cancelled it? Probably not. I don't know what to advise you. My advice that I would give you on the short term is focus on you trying to get another test. Put this to the back burner for now and try and get another test. And then once you get another test booked, then if you want to revisit this and see what you can get out of him in terms of compensation, then tackle that. But I wouldn't tackle both of these on the same front. I'll just literally say, you know what, put that to bed for now. Let me try to get this driving test booked as soon as possible. The only way to do that, the DVSA release new test dates on Monday mornings tomorrow at 6 a.m. Every Monday they release new test dates. Jump on to see if you can get one for your area. You may need to do that for 3-4 Mondays. Outside of that, what I would do is jump on different times of the day, morning, noon, night, Monday to Sunday, different times of the day. Every time you got a spare minute, just jump on. You may get lucky and get a cancellation at the time you're online. But every time you jump on, just make sure you got your driver's license and your theory test, because once you lock it in, you got 15 minutes to complete the transaction. And that's what I would do. Just focus on trying to get another test. But at this point in time, there's not much I can say. I can't see anyone. Yeah, I'll just put it to bed for now. Focus on getting another test as soon as. Because if you're ready to take one in October, you're looking at next year. Unless you get extremely lucky to get one before the year's out, you're looking at next year. So October, November, December, January, that's 3 months. I won't say it's wasted, but unless you stop taking driving lessons, that's a different story. But if you're still taking driving lessons, it's not wasted because you're getting better and better each time you take lessons. Yes, 1.6. Don't overthink it. Theory test is 1.6. Keep it simple. Regardless of what tire they talk about. Highway code is something different. Highway code is the rules for every road user. The theory test keeps it for driving. So all you want to do is focus 1.6, 1.6, 1.6, regardless of what they're talking about. I'm not sure what that's about. Congratulations on passing the theory. 1st of November. You're welcome. Glad it was useful. Wow, you booked your driving test already. When did you book it? Sorry. When did you book it for? So you got driving test already. And what area? 45, 60, hazard perception. All right, let me do a hazard perception demonstration. Let me know what area you booked your test in, because like I said, everyone's struggling to get a test date. Sounds like you got one pretty quick. Right, so hazard perception. Let me quickly shut this down. Right, so get the app up. Right, so hazard perception. 14 videos, 13 of them have a single hazard, which means you can score a maximum of 5 for that problem. And one of them's got a double hazard, score 2 separate 5s. Ideally, you want an 8 or 9 on your double. That way, if you get a couple of 2s, 1s, maybe a 0, that brings the average back up. You need to average 3 across the board when you've finished. James, I just seen your comment. I'm going to do a hazard perception now, just explain it. So by doing... so what you want to do is average 3 across the board. Sorry, just lost my train of thought. So you want to average 3 across the board. Obviously, when you do the real test, you won't know what the average is. You're only going to know what the score is at the end. So if they do kick you out and say you clicked an unacceptable value, you got a 0 for this video, all they're trying to say is change the way you're clicking. So you either click too many times or they think you're spamming a particular hazard. What they don't tell you is there's a countdown window. Someone said they are 4-in-1 app. They're clicking. The app is telling them they're clicking on the right thing, but their score is low. You got a countdown window, starts at 5, finishes at 1. Anything outside of that is a 0. You need to get between 5 and 3 is the ideal way. To beat the system, or have a chance to beat the system, you need to see the problem. A problem is, or a hazard is, anything that's going to cause you to slow down or change direction. Because if you're driving in the video and you're slowing down, you check your rear view mirror. So you look up here. Check your rear view mirror. If you're changing direction, you're going to check the wing mirrors. So if you're moving to the right, you check the right door mirror. If you're moving to the left, you check the left door mirror. So I repeat, the clicking is you checking the mirrors. So in the videos, you see a problem, you click, but you click twice. You click once when you see it, and then you go 1, 2, and then you click again. That way, if the first click was too early, to get a score for the second click, ideally a 5 or a 4 if it was too early. If your first click was a 5, the second click would land in the 3 or the 2, but they give you the highest mark. So there's no benefit in clicking once. Lots of benefits clicking twice, but no benefits in clicking once. Right, so there's 2 types of clips when you're practicing, CGI and real life. And what you want to focus on, I'm saying practice on both, but you want to make sure your score's on point for the CGIs, because on the real life clips, the hazards is hard to see. The scoring's kind of off. So sometimes you've seen a problem and you get a 2 or a 1, but that's not really you. Sometimes it's down to the video not in tune with the timing. But the CGI ones are on point. When you take the real test, it's all CGIs. So I'm going to do 2. 1 real life and 1 CGI. This one's got no star, so I'm not seeing this. We've done it. So I'm going to do a commentary drive, which what means I'm talking out loud so you know why I'm going to be clicking. So I've got the cyclist in front of me, so obviously I need to click. And when you're watching the videos, the brake lights is slowing down, so I may need to slow down. Oh, clicked too many times. You want to be looking down the left and down the right hand side. So literally, on this case, grass verge to grass verge. It's got brake lights again. See where you got the pedestrians to the left on the grass verge. Don't need to click on that because they're too far. Got the car on my right looking to come out. So I'm going to click on that. Click again. He's coming out, so I'm going to click again. And click again. 2 clicks per problem. He's thanking me for that. Didn't give me much choice, to be fair. So it's 4 out of 5 on that. So let's always review it back to see how you can improve. So like I said, here you go, look, to the left, pedestrians, it's a yellow circle, but they're not near the edge, so it's not a problem. So there's my first click, really late. And there's my second click. Let me see if I can, how can I improve that? Right, they're saying I should have clicked here. Maybe. Never mind, I still got a 4. So it's above average. And this is why I say, sorry, that's really doing my head in. I don't understand why I would click in there. It's too early, way too early. But anyway, that's what the video tells me. But I repeat, this is real life clips. CGI one's slightly different. But I still got a 4 for it. But they said I could improve by clicking a lot earlier than that. So hopefully that makes sense for that one. I don't see no comments in there. All right, so let me do a CGI. Yeah, CGI. Let's do this one, no stars. So good, I've not seen this before. So you can see the image quality is a lot clearer. Again, always looking from left to right, right to left, because the signs are on a pavement. It's a picture of Adam on the road. Look into the bend. Don't see anything to be clicking on. Look into the bend where the car's coming towards me. Still don't see anything to click on. Cyclist. I'm going to go for a third one. I went for 3 clicks on that one just to make sure I get a score. I would go for 2 clicks, but if you want to make sure you get a score, there's nothing wrong with adding a 3rd click on that. Traffic lights are green, they could go to red. I could click on that, but I didn't. 5 out of 5. So again, always review back, see how we can improve in this case. I can't improve, but always see where you clicked, if you could have got early 5 or was it a late 5. So there you go. And then my second click landed in the 3. But that's the reason why you go for 2 clicks. So the first one was a 5, second one was a 3, and the third one was a 1. And the reason why I went for a third one, because I thought I messed up. Remember, it's not about you seeing the problem, it's about you getting a score. I can see the problem all day long, but if I'm going to get a 0 for the problem, it doesn't make sense. Just make sure you get a score. I thought I messed up on that, so I made sure I go for a 3rd click just to register something. So even if it was the third one a 1, each point you get still adds up to your 44. So let's just say, for argument's sake, I did mess up and my first 2 clicks was a 0. At least I got a 1 to add to my average, rather than having to get 0 and I got to get a 3 to add to my average, if that makes sense. Because if I got a 1, I'm still 2 behind my average as opposed to 3 behind my average. And that's why I suggest you make sure you get a score. Basic principles, 2 clicks per problem. But I repeat, if you think you messed up, do not be afraid to add the 3rd one in. So hopefully that makes sense for those of you that were struggling with the Hasper. If it doesn't, let me know. I'm quite happy to do another demonstration. Passed on the 1st of the 11th. March 21st, so it is still next year, a bit far, but we'll be very confident by then. Yeah, it's funny because a lot of my students that I've taught over the last 2 months, I believe 2 of them have gone to Scotland to take it because they can get an earlier test date, and 2 of them have gone to... The 2 in Scotland, one's passed, one's waiting for his test date to come, and the 2 in Wales, both of them went on to pass. So they're actually leaving the country, but 3 of them, I believe, had family in those areas. They're not just gone down and randomly. Only 1 went down random. So they're leaving London to take their test in Scotland and Wales, just because the dates, they can get earlier dates. It's the way it is. The DVSA are going to try and change that. That's going to come in force next year, where if you book a test outside of the area, you have to take it in the area. What a lot of people was doing was trying to book a test in Scotland, for example, and then using one of those apps to change it to a local test centre. The DVSA or the government's changing that next year, where if you book a test outside of your area, you cannot change it to the area you live in. So the government's clamping down on that. But hopefully that you pass it on the march. And as you said, you're going to be a lot more confident as well. So keep the lessons going. Right, is there any other questions that you guys want to raise while we are here before I sign out? And you guys can enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll give you a few minutes to answer that. Type in the comments section if you've got any issues, concerns. Remember, the study camp is, the doors on this open at 1 p.m. I will go into the system about 5 to 1 and change the links that lets the payment system open. I explain what you're going to get with the 30-day study camp. You are going to get 30 days of personal training with me, where I take a look at your studying. You're going to get registered on Theory Test Pro. The link gets sent out to you. You just sign up with the link. You're going to do a mock test, full mock test, questions and answers at some point during your first week. And then I will go in, assess it, make some notes, and have a conversation with you some points, and put a plan together on you passing your theory test, especially if you've got a goal. With that, you have access to the live trainings that I do Monday to Thursday, 4:30 to 6 p.m. You don't have to register for those. You can just turn up any day that suits your shift work, college, uni, whatever you do. And we will hang out live every week, at least once a week. We just hang out live, just chill, just a general conversation, nothing too heavy. And the first hangout is Monday, tomorrow at 7 p.m. where we just chill, chat, have a conversation, get to know each other and go from there. If you do the work and don't pass on the theory test, I will pay for the next one, because if I give you the work, if you do the work that I give you, there's no reason why you should be failing. But if you do, I'll pay for the next one. I stand by what I teach with that as well. So that's what you're going to get. And you've got a community in there. Like I said, it's ask questions, jump in there. There's Theo in there. When I put him in there, it's AI, and you can ask Theo any questions any time of the day, any time of the night, and it gives you the answers that's required. But also I'm in there to answer questions for you. So it's a complete package. But the most important thing out of that is that we work together. We work together as a group, and we're going to work together as an individual. That's what it's about. It's not really about the training sessions as such. It's me getting to know you, what makes you tick, so I can tap into that to make sure your mindset's right on the day you take your theory test, and hopefully you pass it for the next time out. So that's what that's about. But outside of that, just check on the comments. Can you shed light on the 10, 45, 100 rule? Yeah, 10, 45, 100, that's your meters. As much as I'm not a big fan of memorizing answers, there's always exceptions to the rule when it comes to driving. There's always exceptions to the rule when it comes to theory training. And this is one of the exceptions. 10 meters. 10 meters is where you should not park near a junction. 45 meters is where you place a triangle from a broken down car. And 100 meters is when you turn the lights on for poor visibility. I'll say that again. 10 is they're all meters, 10 meters, 45 meters, 100 meters. 10 meters is where you should not park near a junction. 45 meters is where you place a triangle from a broken down car, but not on the motorway. And 100 meters is when you turn your lights on for poor visibility. That's what that is. So I hope that clears that up for you. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Every little helps. Is it possible for you to be my instructor for the practical test? Your attention to detail is spot on and passion for learners is immense. Answer to that is no. I teach intensive driving courses, and I don't do individual lessons as such. Yeah, and I'm literally booked up until next year at some point. So the answer to that is no. And plus, I'm not even sure you're in my area. I work in North London. But like I said, I do practical lessons anyway. I do intensive courses anyway. My attention to detail, yeah, that's just me being over the top, but it brings the results my students want. So I'll keep doing that. You are welcome. Just turned up. We're just about to sign out. Can you go over hazard awareness? Hazard perception, I just did. You need to watch the... if you're talking about hazard perception, hazard awareness and hazard perception is two different things. So if you're talking about hazard perception, the videos, I just did that. You're going to have to watch the replay on that. If you're talking about hazard awareness as a subject or category, let me just quickly show you that because it's still on screen. Share screen. That's a category. If you look down here at the bottom, hazard awareness, that's a category awareness. Hazard perception is videos. But like I said, if it's hazard perception you're talking about, I've already done that. Control zone is parking. It's just a parking zone. When I say control zone, it means control parking. So you know when some point it's permits only, that's what they will call a control zone. If it's yellow lines or red lines, that's what they call a control zone. Again, it's the way they word it. It just means no parking. In simple terms in English, it just means no parking. But like I said, that's how the theory test works. It makes things more complicated than it really is. You need to break it down and keep it simple. Yeah, control zone, just no parking in that zone. Or no stopping, depending on what the sign is. And the control zone would be, if signage, if you're talking about signage, is the red circle, blue background, red diagonal line, or the red X is your controlled. And they've got the black and white version son of that as well, which I can't show you because I haven't got the image on screen. I tested on Tuesday, 25th of November. I just got to know about your pages. Well, hopefully you're ready. What I would do, if you was my student, you just turned up, tested on... Sorry, I know there's some problems. One sec, sorry. I tested on Tuesday. Well, I'm assuming that you're ready for the test on Tuesday. What I would do, at some point today, if you've got the time, sooner the better, take a mock test, just a 50-question mock test, to get a baseline score and see what your score is at this stage. If you are passing, got 43 or more, you're pretty much on point. Not say you're going to pass it, but that's what I would do. Obviously, if you failed it, then you want to look at the weakness on those categories it showed up and restudy those. But like I said, it doesn't give you much time to improve on it. But that's what I would do now. If you was my student, you literally came to me and said, look, my test is on Tuesday. My advice is... And that's what I would do. Do a mock test first, get a baseline score, and that would tell you whether you're ready or not in that sense. And I don't mean take 3 or 4 mock tests. Take one mock test. That's the information you want to work with, and then go from there. If it's positive, just keep topping it up between now and Tuesday. If it's negative, as in it's a fail, then you want to take note of the stats it gives you. When I say stats, if it's the 4-in-1, that's why I keep recommending the 4-in-1. The 4-in app will tell you your strongest category and it will tell you your weakest category. And obviously the weakest one is what you want to go and sort out. But I wish you the best of luck on that on Tuesday. But come back next week and let us know how you got on. My test is 7 to 3. How can you help me? I can't, other than turn up to the lives on Sunday, 10 a.m. Watch the videos that's out there. They're still relevant. And keep practicing. The other way is join the study camp, which I just explained, because that gives you time. 15th is about 2 weeks. Monday week is the 1st, 8, 15. Gives you 3 weeks. So the study camp is a good benefit. That I can help you now because we're on a one-to-one situation with that. But outside of that, it's just watch the videos, come to the lives. Any questions you have in the week when you're studying, bring them to the lives and let me help you with that way. That's what the lives are for. Let's see if there's any other questions on there. JBS, passing 17th of October. So, by the way, thanks for helping. No problem. You're welcome. But thank you for coming to the live and letting me know that you've passed, even though it was a long time ago. But thank you for keeping me in mind to let me know. Because what you guys don't understand as well, I get a lot of messages of pupils passing and failing the theory test. Obviously, if it's the ones who come in like JBS just now and all the others, let me know they pass. It's motivation for me to keep going, to keep making videos, because I know the video stuff works. And for those of you that are failing, it just means I need to work a little bit harder to try to get you guys to pass as well. Hence why the study camp is now involved and not just the boot camp, because I know based on the feedback of the failing I'm getting, it's lack of understanding. And it's very hard for me to give you that understanding over YouTube. It is very hard to do that because sometimes lack of understanding is individual and everybody's got a different problem when it comes to learning. We're not all the same. Like I said, I'm dyslexic, but the information I give a dyslexic person is to use headphones because that helps. When we did it in the classroom, someone has this dyslexia, I said use headphones. It helped them massively. Headphones doesn't help me when it comes to my, I'm a visual person. I need to see the words. Even though I struggle with the words, I need to see them so my brain can work it out. If I use headphones, I probably would end up failing my theory test if I was to take it. But if I work with you as an individual, like we did in the classroom and in the boot camp, I understand you more and I can start to help you as an individual more. And that's what the study camp's about. So, because we're all different. And that's the reason why when you guys are coming back, I passed, I failed, blah, blah, blah. Especially when, here's one. Slightly different, but this literally what I was about to say. My test is something. How can you help me? I get a lot of messages. Help me. I need help. With what? First and foremost, you come into me and just say, I need help. Was it the questions? Is it has perception? Is it both? And then once I got that information, what type of help? You need to give me a bit more information than that. And that's what I'm trying to say. Learning to pass the theory test, learn to drive is individual. I need to know you as a person so I can know what makes you tick, because I work on that. I'll give you the answers to the theory test questions easily. Doesn't mean you're going to pass it. But if I give you the understanding why you chose the wrong answer, you'll pass the theory test the next time out. That's why I say with the study camp, if you fail, provided you did the work that I gave you and you failed, I'll pay for it, because I know if you do the work, you're passing. That's not going to be an issue. But like I said, there's a lot of you failing, but it's not because you're stupid, you're thick or anything like that. You just don't understand, but you're not working out what makes you tick. And that's the crucial bit. I test on the second sem. I've really been enjoying your teaching. Very wonderful. Thank you for the words. I appreciate it. Good luck on this. Well, you've got a bit of time. 2nd December is next Tuesday. So you've got next Sunday live. Again, while you're studying during the week, bring those questions forwards. Let's send you in there confidently. Passed yesterday. Well done to you. Just 2 days watching me and you still passed it. Well done. Right, that's the last comment I see on there. I'm going to wish you guys a safe Sunday, a safe week. For those of you that's got a test coming up, I wish you the best of luck with that. Remember, if it goes according to plan, well done. Get driving instructor booked in if you haven't already, because they're going to get busy in the new year. Get them locked in where possible. If it's not good news, remember you have data. Don't feel too bad and upset. It's just a blip, a hiccup. Get back on the horse as soon as you possibly can with that one. But like I said, if you've got any questions during the week, jot them down. Same for Sunday. I'm live at 10 a.m. every Sunday to help you out with those questions and any tips I've got. But the most importantly, stay safe. For those of you that sign up for the study camp, I'll catch you in, hopefully you can join me live in the study camp in the community, 7 o'clock tomorrow. If not, we'll catch up during the week anyway with all of that. And I will catch you back here next Sunday. But most important, stay safe. That's all I want you guys to do, is stay safe so I can see you guys next week. Take care. Enjoy your Sunday.